we think about the impact that substance use disorders and mental illness has on an individual, we can talk about all the medical lingo and all the brain science, but what do families experience? What do they see? And really, these diseases affect a person in four main areas of their life, and it happens in a very distinct order. When somebody has active substance use disorders going on and active mental illness, the first thing to go in their life is spirituality, their sense of connection, their sense of being of something higher than themselves. There's something out there. That's the first thing to go. The second thing to go is their emotional health. What we know is substances do anesthetize emotions. There's something external, an external medicator used to treat internal pain and suffering. And so they anesthetize emotions. Alcohol and happy hour, we come down from stress and work. The third thing to go in somebody's life is their mental health. If you use long enough and with enough repetition and with enough chemicals, your brain and the cognitive processes really start to deteriorate. And you use long enough, you can have things like neurotoxicity and those really significantly lower brain functioning. And the final thing to go that takes a long time is somebody's physical health. The body's an amazing organ. It can take a whole lot of junk for a long time before the liver starts to fail and body starts to deteriorate. And so those are the areas that are affected in that distinct order by active and untreated substance use disorders and mental illness. The maniacal part that families experience is that when the recovery process starts, those four areas come back. They just come back in reverse. And it's very, very confusing for families. So when somebody starts the recovery process, the first thing that happens is their physical health comes back. That they detox, they may not be feeling great, but they're feeling better than they felt in years because maybe they're sleeping and eating a little bit. And so within a very short period of time, of a week or so, their physical health starts to come back. The second thing that starts to come back is their cognitive process starts to clear up. What were once blackouts or hazy periods, when they start to have some clarity, they start to remember those. And they come back pretty quickly. Somebody's physical health and mental health start to come back. And the problem is, the two most important aspects of somebody's long-term recovery don't come back till later. And those first two things, somebody physically starts feeling better and starts thinking for themselves. And that's really when they take their power back from the professionals, because the emotional health and the spiritual health of how do you live life, coping with emotions and coping with the stream of life and with the connection, those two most important things of connection and long-term recovery, take long-term to develop, long-term treatment, long-term efforts. And they're the last things to come back. But families experience the physical health of seeing their loved one that's before them for the first time, and they think that everything's fixed. But that internal soul wound, those underlying currents, that take a long time to come back, and that's very, very confusing for families.